We are back to the Mariner. 2010 Mercury Mariner. Just a brake job, brakes and rotors. These rotors are getting so bad. I feel like an old Maytag washing machine on spin cycle when you hit the brakes. It's pretty bad. So, I'm just going to remove this tire, and we'll see what's inside. We got the tire off, and we can see the brake pads in there. Getting pretty low. Didn't have too much life left in them. I did this a few years ago, but I got the cheap rotors, and man, they didn't last long at all. So this time I got the little better brand, PowerStop, like just their basic entry level. I wanted the drilled and slotted, but they're like $250. So I did the right thing. I got the cheaper one for like 110 bucks. So yeah, so all we gotta do is take off the bolt in here. That's right, this little cap cover over this. Some type of Allen screw in there. Hopefully I got some of those with me. I don't really have all my tools on me at the moment. Let's see what I got. Okay, got the pins loosened out. I'm actually using a 1/4 inch Allen, which ain't the right tool, but that's all I got and it worked. So now we got to compress the calipers in. Just put a screwdriver in here and squeeze it so the piston's closed. Then we get the brake pads out. Just put a screwdriver in here. Just put some light pressure on there. It's nice, steady. You kind of keep working at it both ways. Just don't hit the actual caliper piston itself, because you kind of crack it. So you want to squeeze in between the brake pad and the rotor. You can see that caliper closing up real nice. And also, before you do this, make sure you pop the hood and open up your brake cap reservoir, because it makes it a lot easier. Okay, open this up to relieve some pressure. That'll allow the brake fluid to push back up. By the way, we did the valve cover gaskets a little bit ago, and they're actually holding up pretty good. Pretty happy about that. No more oil leaks on top of the bolts. Well, actually there's a little bit there, isn't there? Huh. That might have been when I put oil in it. This side cover is still leaking, but we'll worry about that at another time. Back to the brakes. Alright, piston is all the way in. Now we can just remove this. Oh yeah, I should probably take this thing off first. However that comes off. I think it goes this way. Yeah, I think you have to push it out this way, and it'll come out of those grooves. It's hard to do when I'm holding the camera. Alright, you can kind of see how that holds in there. Just a little clip, and these springs keep pulling out on it. So that's twisted the caliper out and it popped right off. Alright, brake pads. And they were getting there. I've had worse, but alright, now in order to get this off, I'm gonna take out those big old bolts in the back. There's one there, one there. You probably got like 150 pounds on there. So now it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I'm gonna grab a impact out and get this off the impact. The neighbors are gonna love that. I decided to use a wrench so I don't make too much noise. So let's get it. There we go. I'm gonna spin these off manually. Make sure to keep note of orientation of that. Okay, and the rotor just flies right off. Cheap crap. It's not even cheap. Alright, let's get the new rotor and brake pads. Okay, we have parts. We have some grease for the pins. Probably not going to use that. We got new hardware. Nice. New pads. New rotors. Now I got this PowerStop brand because we've used it in the past and it worked pretty good. Seems like the rotors actually stay pretty true to straight. But on here it says like, it says auto switchality. So I don't know what that is because I got a PowerStop kit. But whatever. This is Evolution ceramic disc pads with hardware kit. Should be fine. Open up this rotor, and normally I'd use parts cleaner and get the oil off of it because they put like a light coat of oil on it to keep it from rusting during shipping. I don't have parts cleaner, so we're just gonna put it on. Those beautiful cross-hatched lines. Looks like it did a good job, I think. Alright, let's put this on. Okay, rotor is on. Now we just gotta fight and get the brake hardware back on. Yeah, so it goes on that way. Just gotta get the bolts back in. Everything's good to go. Okay, I got bolts started. And make sure to always check the specifications on the torque for those bolts. You know, don't just crank them on to the impact and call it good. Make sure you know exactly how much torque is getting put on there. As long with these pins as well. You don't want to over torque them because they're pretty small. It's a very small hole actually. And if you over torque them, they'll strip. If you under torque them, they'll come loose. Your caliper could come off, causing brake failure. So make sure to always check those steps. You can see the pad's already cut and chamfered. So I got little angles at the end. Got like a line in the center there. That actually just helps it to stop better. Helps keep it from squealing. We can see they got these 3 fingers. That end goes into the caliper. Okay, it's like, well, how come that fitting right? It's because my rotor is not all the way. There we go. And this is your outside one. So I believe, though, this one has to go into the caliper first, and it all just kind of goes on. Alright, so I clipped this brake pad in to the piston first, and set this one in place here. And it just goes on like so. Yeah. You just want to make sure you get these started up straight. And you'll be good to go. Okay, it's all together. Everything looks pretty good. I just want to pump the brakes, get the caliper tight. Excuse me, you're not supposed to be in here. Let's give it some pumps. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, I'm pumping. Let's kind of give it nice, slow, steady pumps. I don't know if you can see that sucking in or not, but okay. Now it's tight. Double check everything. Everything looks like it's on correctly, seated correctly. Oh, there's a lot of wiggling here. What's going on there? Oh, huh. I've got a loose tie rod in. That's nice. There's a little bit of moving there. Okay, well, we'll have to adjust that. Nice. Anyway, let's get the wheel straightened back out. We'll get the tire on. Do make sure you put the hardware on. I was about to throw the tire on and forget about this little piece. Which, really, all I think it does is kind of keep it from rattling around. But yeah, so basically it just goes into here. Then we get a screwdriver and pry the middle until it clips in. There we go. Feels a little tighter. Now we're ready to put the tire on, and we'll check the lug nut specifications, and yeah, torque it on properly. Okay, this side's done. Now we'll go to the other side, jack it up, and pretty much the same thing, just opposite. So I'll show you when it's all together. Okay, passenger side done. And notice something else loose in here. And I did replace this tire in like a year ago with a good Moog problem solver. Actually has the grease insert, so that's all tight. But looks like my bottom ball joint is loose. Let's see if you can see that on the camera or not. If I pry this into here, I can see it kind of wiggling up and down. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I can feel it just wiggling. So, I believe in order to replace these lower ball joints, I think you have to replace the whole control arm. Which is actually kind of easier sometimes. Just a bolt there that the jack is on. I think another bolt in there on the side. But, you know, this car has 222,000 miles. And can't complain, but it's definitely getting to that age where the front end needs rebuilt. More than just a tire rod in. So I'll probably have to look up those. I mean, I would kind of like to replace the struts too. Well, they're not leaking yet, but I mean, it's only a matter of time before they do. But yeah, let's get this tire on. We'll give it a test drive. Before test driving, make sure to put the brake fluid cap back on. Nice. Okay, we are at an undisclosed course in Mexico so that we can safely test out our brakes here. So what you want to do is kind of want to slowly wear them in. Ignore my Christmas trees here. I got the brake module for the ABS, kind of kicks on once in a while. It's like $600. So yeah, we'll get to that later. The engine light is the Ford's gas capless system that always breaks. But anyway, so we want to do around 20, 25, and then just kind of hit the brakes, and let it come to a nice slow stop. You want to do this in a nice rural area so that there's no one behind you. And you want to do this about, you know, 5 or 6 times, and kind of see how everything feels. So far, feeling pretty good. So yeah, we'll do this a few more times and then we'll try it at 40. Kind of see how it feels. So you just want to slowly kind of wear them in. That way they create a nice pattern. And they'll be nice and smooth for you for the rest of the life. Alright, now we're at 40, about 45. Now we're going to do a brisk stop. There, very smooth, very smooth. So this turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. I like the PowerStop brand. They seem to be pretty good quality rotors for a decent price. Of course, the drilled and slotted are the best, but those are about $250. But they are worth it though. But this car, it's just a everyday driver, so don't need anything too special. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and we'll have some future projects on this car. The tower rod end and the ball joints. I might go through the whole front end, who knows, but thanks for watching, everyone. Y'all take care and have a good day.